World Viral.
All right. That works. Hey, we're back.
That's beautiful.
From our week-long hiatus. Thanks for joining us down here at the basement of Herman Hideaway. It is the Uncle Nasty Show on WorldViral.tv. We ask you that you tell somebody. Spread the news. CT is back in the booth. We have a great lineup for you this afternoon here on the Uncle Nasty Show. But first, Matt and I want to talk about dead rock stars. It's just unbelievable. I don't think anybody can die in 2016. So many died in 2015.
We're full up. The in memoriam for the end of 2016 is done. Nobody else can die. It's been stunning to watch we see, I guess we're more affected or more easily affected because of social media, but you just see this wave upon wave upon wave upon wave of here's posting David Bowie photos, now posting Glenn Frey photos, now posting, God, they're all going.
Lemmy, B.B. King, plus Scott Weiland. And then it was really weird, too. Scott Weiland's, drummer from the Wildabouts died, 2 months ago as well.
Right.
So, just one after another. It's just been too much to take. These icons, this music that, so many of us grew up listening to that helped, form our lives and the crazy shit that we did with that as our soundtrack, And now these people, you didn't know them, but it's how they were a part of your life, how that music was there while you were doing stuff. And it's
memories of going to see them live and how that anchors to memories of your life and what was happening at that time.
The Eagles. There was one point, and there still is. You can't drive anywhere in the United States and not find an Eagles song on the radio. You can be in the middle of fucking Nevada, nowhere 80, and all. I got a peaceful. Hey, the Eagles, turn that up. You know what I mean? It's Glenn Frey dying, I thought he was too mean to die. I thought him and Don Henley had so much hate and anger in them that they'd never die.
Keeps you alive for a while.
So, in news to me, and apparently, there'd been minor blurbs in the news about these guys being sick and so on.
Is that vanity? Because you don't want to go, did you see how gaunt and horrifying he looked? I mean, when Freddie Mercury died, remember the last picture of Freddie Mercury?
It was please, please, somebody take him.
Horrible. Well, so maybe
you look like the Walking Dead. So
nobody was posting. There's none of the pictures of David Bowie. Well, Bowie wasn't. Bowie didn't look bad.
They took those photos of him on his birthday, which was the Friday before he passed away, and he looked, pretty much the way you imagine David Bowie to look. So. And then, bam, he's dead. The same thing with Lemmy.
Lemmy, let's stop, though. Lemmy didn't look good, ever.
No. Okay. You're like, wow, you're going to die. You've been saying that for 30 years, right? Geez, Lemmy better change his life. But he was sick all summer long on tour. Motorhead canceled a bunch of dates. But it was all respiratory issues, I thought. And then it turns out colon cancer. He gets diagnosed, he gets that information, and he dies over the weekend. That's just strange. Filthy Phil, the old Motorhead drummer, he passed away too back in the fall as well. So just a ton of rock stars going left and right. We're going to bring in a guy on the show that you may not be able to draw the lines between Dr. Kevin Fitzgerald, animal vet, animal doc from Animal Planet, to rock and roll, but we're going to drop a bomb on you. Kevin had a previous life before he was a vet, and we're going to talk about that. He knows a lot of people, really.
Absolutely.
We're also going to have the lovely and talented, ladies and gentlemen, Robin Carlin talked to Demarius Thomas's mom and got the lowdown. That was the first time last weekend that Demarius' mom has ever seen him play football live. She's been in prison. Obama pardoned her last year, and so she got to come to this game. So we're going to find out how that experience was. And, of course, G-Man's going to join us a little later on, and we're going to talk Broncos Patriots.
We got to talk, right? We have to talk. He's got the number on.
We got the mojo, baby. That's what I'm saying.
Wear it proudly, man. Wear it proudly. Hey, if you haven't gone to the Uncle Nasty page on Facebook, do it. Go to the Uncle Nasty page on Facebook, click like. Also, go check out, it's happening again.
It's back.
Year 12, I believe. 12 of Uncle Nasty's Mass Wedding. If you want to get married or you want to renew your vows, you can do it for free. It'll all be the administrator.
Don't I look reverend?
The Right Reverend Uncle Nasty will be your...
man.
officiating.
That's
And it
right,
is legal.
Valentine's Day.
You get your marriage license, you bring it up to Red Rocks. We do it at the top of Red Rocks at noon on Valentine's Day. That's a Sunday this year. You can come up and renew your vows. You can come up and get married. You can bring all your family. We'll have tons of wedding gifts for people. We've got all kinds of fun stuff we do up there. It's
But if you want to be eligible for the gifts, you got to sign up, and pre-registration is up on the Mass Wedding page on Facebook.
Yep.
All right, and we're going to have also linked up on worldviral.tv. You'll be able to go there as well. Sign up. You can just show up. We'll do you. But if you want to be eligible for any of the cool stuff, hotels and stays and all types of cool things,
Dinners,
and photo
dinners from
packages and
a whole
dinners
bunch
and
of
stuff, you got to
restaurants
sign
around
up. All right.
check it out for yourself.
We're coming back here on the Uncle Nasty Show on worldviral.tv with the man, the myth, the legend. You've probably seen him on stages across America, and I know you've seen him on cable TV. Dr. Kevin Fitzgerald from Animal Planet joins us next here on the Uncle Nasty Show.
Herman's Hideaway on the corner of Iowa and Broadway. Your favorite independent anti-corporate venue featuring Westward's best patio. Now serving award-winning food. From metal to jazz to hip-hop, Herman's Hideaway has something for everyone. And if you want to book your act at Herman's Hideaway, email booking@hermanshideaway.com or call 303-777-2535. There's only one venue, family owned and operated for over 50 years. Holding it down in Denver. Go to hermanshideaway.com for more information and show listings.
Can you play guitar? Can you shred with the best? National Speaker and Sound wants you to show them what you've got to win a $1,000 Paul Reed Smith electric guitar and a $1,000 Vox amp. Stop by National Speaker and Sound showroom and register for their solo guitar competition. It's free, there's no age limit, and the final will be judged by a celebrity guitarist. The fun starts Saturday, January 9th from 11 to 3 p.m. And if you're looking at new gear, everything is on sale at National Speaker and Sound. They'll even beat Guitar Center's prices. National Speaker and Sound, 1559 South Broadway, where the pros shop.
Hey, it's Pat Searcy down here at National Speaker and Sound on South Broadway. Come down and see us. We're now carrying Charvel, EVH gear, along with Mesa Boogie, Paul Reed Smith, Nash guitars. Come check us out. Mention World Viral. Get 10% off.
Motel Minute. Motel Minute. Hi, Mom, I love you.
World Viral.
All right, that means we're back. Thanks for the graphic, Aaron and Jamie. That's awesome. It's the Uncle Nasty Show, worldviral.tv. The man, the myth, the legend, Animal Planet's Dr. Kevin Fitzgerald is with us, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, thanks for having me. Thank you for having me.
When we first contacted you, were you like, wow, these guys want to talk about the animals in the Antarctica?
I thought that if they want to talk about polar bears, they want to talk about, marijuana and dogs.
So we're like, no, we want to.
We're seeing one marijuana dog a day. They eat the edibles, eat the brownies,
Man.
cookies, the suckers. so they blunder into
That's
the stuff.
wasteful. That's all I have to say.
can't
Don't
you-
leave your stash out on the table.
Well, can't we? Isn't there a stash box kind of thing we could be selling at the veterinary hospital that you can take home with
That's
you?
it, your edible box, protect your dog. Where's the big PSA?
That's-
I'm Dr. Kevin Fitzgerald, and dogs eat pot. Stop it.
Well, we've seen 2 deaths, you know, little tiny dogs that ate a ton. The stuff is just it's strong. They make these Swedish fish, and the guy told me you're supposed, you know, for a person you're supposed to eat like 1 fin. You know, like, well, how the hell?
scale?
How do you do
I'm gonna
that?
fucking
You know,
carve
and he
a
goes, "Well, we're gonna
scale
make them
fish."
perforated next year." You know, I mean, if I see a Swedish fish, I throw the whole thing in my mouth. I eat the whole bag. You know, so
Right.
you can't eat it half. And what do you eat? A gill? You know, eat you know, some
You
kind
should
of.
give me a whole bag of Swedish fish, but only like half of one has anything in it. And then I'll eat the whole bag, but it'll be fine.
Yeah.
One
it's-
serving per bag.
So the stuff is just too strong. So when you called, I was like, well, you know, they want to talk about something serious. They want to talk about.
Well, we will.
We wanted to tap that
We'll have you
brain of
back for that.
expertise for other stuff. We're going to have you back, and we're going to talk about the Antarctic and your good work that you're doing down there. But we also wanted to expose you, your previous life. A lot of people don't know that before you became a vet, you were a badass motherfucker.
Well, I don't know if I was kindly.
All right, so Dr. Kevin
Polite but firm.
You started the early days, you were just a bouncer, bar bouncer.
Started just with Chuck.
Right, you worked for Chuck Morris?
Chuck Morris, and then we went with Faye. And then Faye had the Rolling Stones tour in 69, 72, and then they kept me on after I went to Bill Graham. And then I worked for Graham, and then went, you know, and last thing I did was the Wu-Tang, you know, in 2002.
That would be
That was
not
your
where I would see you.
last security gig?
Well, they called me up, and the guy that was bouncing, their head bouncer, had fired my brother and cousins and I, and brothers in 76 for Earth, Wind, and Fire, said the Irish were too violent. So I said, well, you got a bloodbath. If you want us back, what are we doing? So we were flying to do the first show. My cousin was looking at the thing and reading all the information about him, promo stuff. He goes, Kev, who are we fighting? Oriental Negroes? Who are these guys? You know, they're the Wu-Tang, you know. But it was great.
Negroes.
You know, everybody's kung fu fighting.
Well, you got boxing in your background then too.
But, well, you know.
Isn't that like a prereq? All Irish guys have to know how to box. That's you can't leave the country
Chuck hired
without
me
knowing
and said,
that.
you got a good, you know, when I went to work for the Rolling Stones with Tony Funches, God love him, up in Fort Collins, and you know, he taught me everything, how to balance a checkbook, and Chuck Morris were good to me. But it wasn't about bloody mouths. It wasn't about punching people, being tough. It was about no bloody mouths.
Right.
And no lawsuits for the tour and getting people in safely. So we were proud of it, you know. I mean, we didn't have stuff, you know, like one thing about Barry, that, you know, God bless him, you know, it was we didn't do festival seating where, you know, that people would run when they'd open the thing, like the Oklahoma land grab, you know, and people are rushing for their seat and stomping on each other. You know, a kid had a set ticket with a set seat, and Barry always said, he's not going to run, his seat's always there, whether he, you know, and he can get there whenever. So our job was, in the beginning we didn't know, 69, 70, 69, man, the Denver Pop Festival, and then at the end of the summer it was Woodstock, and then Altamont in December, at the end of the Stones tour. And we didn't know what happened to get 200,000 kids together, you know? And the record companies didn't know the power of the teenagers and the money they had, you know, so, you know.
How scared were municipalities?
Well, they didn't have any idea. They wouldn't even know enough to be scared. You know? So, I mean, it changed. It changed from the time I was bouncing from 68, 69 to the mid-'80s when I stopped and went to veterinary school. You know, it was a business. You know, it was a giant business, you know, where people had formulas of how many people would come through the gate and how many tickets you could cut in an hour and whether we'd let them bring in bottles or cans or whatever else, you know. And so it became a business, you know, and a huge business like that it is today.
Well, you were around at Tulagi's when Glenn Fry and Don Henley and Jackson Brown were Ronstadt's backup band.
They came in and she got tonsillitis, and so Chuck, man, being as hip as he is, realized Horseflesh, and man, these guys are good.
Yeah.
You know, they weren't the regular band that was playing there, you know, like, you know, Bobby and the Worms and some of the stuff that we would see, you know. And so, you know, all their fans had these worm heads. But it was kind of interesting, really.
You thought you were serious.
Yeah. You know, and so we go, geez, these guys again, you know. But they were so bad. So you're just a kid and you don't really know anything, and you're the bouncer. But man, you know what good music is, you know? Like I bounced at the Good Earth and Jamie's father, it's the start of Firefall, man. When they started playing Mark Andes and Mikey Clark from Mark Andes from Spirit and Mikey Clark from the Byrds and the Burritos and his dad, you know, from Zephyr and from playing with Graham Parsons from the Burrito Brothers, you just would go, oh, this is different. This is good stuff.
You could hear the difference.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
We're lucky, you know. There's always been good music in Colorado. Always good music, you know. In the early
And the right people too, like
the
to
right
come
people,
here, you know.
The right people, you know. Barry had foresight, but Tony Spicola should be in the Colorado Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Pueblo. First guy, he brought in the Cream in 1967, years before anybody had heard about him, you know, to Pueblo, to his little place, Pinocchio's. And so, no, man, Tony Spicola should be in the Colorado Hall of Fame. So, you know, I mean, that guy brought in so many good bands, Jefferson Airplane, you know, and you know, to be a little boy from Denver, I didn't know how to play an instrument, but you know, he knew how to maybe throw a punch, and so you could, and then you get learned, and you find out it's not about throwing punches, it's about getting people in safe and have a nice time, you know, and if you could talk to a kid and go up and say, look, you could take me, you know, but there's another guy behind me, and we're gonna throw you out, and the cops are gonna put you in jail. You know, I mean, come on, you know. And 99 out of 100 times, the guy goes, "You're right. I could take you any day. Yeah, calm down, you know." And they'd be cool. And if you had to thump them, you know, with your brother or somebody else, and we had little things, you know, you'd ask him a nonsense question: "Where'd you park?" And then that guy'd think about it, and that meant I'd hit him. And then if I said, "Is it soup?" that meant he'd hit him. You know, so we knew what we were going to do, and the guy's going to go out. You know, we get paid the same whether we throw you out or not.
Man.
You know?
So Linda Ronstadt goes into the hospital. The Eagles as her
The Eagles
backup band.
didn't know what they're going to do. Then now she's in Boulder Community Hospital. We don't know how long. She's very sick with the tonsils. The backup band rented instruments, you know. Chuck said, I'll pay for your rented instruments. You can be the house band. And so, you know, took good care of them, got them hotel rooms, and you know.
But they were stuck here in Denver until they paid Chuck back.
In Boulder, yeah. And so, you know, so now they owe him, you know. And then years later, you know, it comes back, and Chuck's like, how about a stadium show? You know, you guys maybe you're going to skip Boulder and you're not going to do anything, but you kind of, do you remember me? Oh,
That's
yeah.
cool.
Chuck's like, I created you. If it wasn't for me making sure Linda Ronstadt had tonsillitis, this would have never happened.
Yeah, but Chuck isn't like that. He's cool, man.
No,
He's
I
cool.
know Chuck.
I'd do anything for Chuck, you know. And so, so I just followed Chuck. You know, Chuck would say where we were going to go, and then, you know, go and thump heads. And, you know, but if you were nice, you know, you got to be close to the band and to be a kid in those days. And now these guys dying, what's hard is you remember them in your mind's eye, how they looked when we bought the records. I still say records, you know. and so
the LPs.
My nieces call my house Old Town, you know, where
Old Town.
Because I still, you know, you're like, can we listen to your music, Uncle Kev? You know, sure, honey. You know, and so, but you think in your mind's eye, you know, what the Eagles look like, and you don't realize that, you know, you've gotten older, but so have they. You know, and you know, man, everybody dies. You know, that's what we gotta act accordingly. You know, and be cool while we're here.
It seems like this whole generation is aging out. You know, I mean, there's been so many icons, and not just like side session guys. You know, that have a little notoriety. I mean, big bona fide stars. You know, I mean, gone.
Well, a generation. You know, a generation, and so there's another generation of stars. You know, too.
Wow, these stars shine bright, though. I mean,
well,
you know,
I mean, they do.
They're
they
right
do
there, like
us.
the second generation of rock and roll. You know,
they shine bright for us. But you know, I mean, every generation has their touchstone. You know, of what the music is. I remember my father walking around the house early in the morning on Saturday mornings, help my mother dust in his boxer shorts, listen to Frank Sinatra, and doing this, you know, Nelson Riddle notes. Right. Going, oh, Kev, that swings. And my brother and I are going, oh, man, this is the squarest guy in the world. You know? But now I listen to it later, you know, and it does swing.
You open up to it.
And so, you know, there's a danger in thinking that your generation and your music have a handle on what's hip. And, you know, as we get older, you're not hip forever, baby. You know, there's another generation, you know? And so what you can be is you can be cool and be, you know, still have fun with it and stay open to new stuff. There's still new music that's great all the time. You know, there's something about live music that doesn't come across on a CD or a tape, you know, where the drum is hitting you in the chest and you're sweating and you're watching the bass player sweat,
right?
And it's bouncing off a low ceiling, and nobody smokes in place anymore. But it used to be the cigarette smoke, you know, and yeah, you know, and so there's something about live music, and I think what's hard for people, you know, when David Bowie dies, Glenn Frey dies, these people die. You know, it's people don't like change. You know, people don't like any kind of change. They like things that stay the same. They like don't like new people to come or old people to go. You like it, you know. I know I'm Irish. I don't like any kind of change.
Well, the cool thing about this is that they do live forever. They're immortal through their recordings. You know, you can relive that experience that you had with them, because most don't know these people, right? We have this experience while listening to their music. Somewhere in our upbringing, somewhere along our path, this music was part of our soundtrack, you know, and so you can always relive that moment, you know. You can always go back and relive that relationship you have with that artist.
That's right.
Know?
So you know, Glenn Frey's always, you know, 30 years old for you, something,
right?
You know, and so, but I think when you see these guys and you realize that they age too, and they're just people, you know. And the one thing I learned the most is that, you know, they're totally just people. You know, and they can be jerks or they can be cool. You know, I mean, the Stones were so.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because you spent a lot of time with the Stones.
You know, every show, I do the advance, go a day ahead of the band, hire the cops, hire the Irish cops. They got Irish name, you know, and try to figure out that they don't screw us, you know, because they'll come through a gate with a police car loaded with kids, you know,
right?
And you can't have that because you got so many seats it's sold out, so you can't even bring all, you know, 10 police cars with 40 kids, you know, and so you go, I'm going to give you each policeman working 2 tickets for their kids, and you know you do it before and you handle it cool, and you try and keep in good relations with local police, and how you can get the band from the hotel to the you know, to the venue, and from the venue to the airport, and you know, so forth. So that was my job. But every night of the show, I had the front of the stage with the local bouncers. And when the lights go down, the kids jump from the sides onto the floor to get close to the stage. But you can't have the wheelchair kids out on the floor because they get knocked out of their chairs. So they did, in those years, an unkind thing. They put the wheelchair kids all together, all in the same place upstairs, and it was cruel. It was, you know, because now, you know, God, you're stigmatized. You know, a kid doesn't want to be with all of the,
right.
You know, but every show, Jagger would come and say, "Kevin, where are they?" And I'd say 323. He meant, where are the wheelchair kids?
Right.
How many chairs? I'd say 23 chairs. And I'm dating myself, but I would get 23 cassette tapes and 23 T-shirts. And he wouldn't do it as a photo op. He wouldn't tell the press he was doing it, and would put a towel over his head or a hood and run him through the guts of the place. And then he'd pop up, throw the towel off or the hood off, run down the chairs. You wouldn't stay and talk to him, but he'd put.
He would personally deliver these items. That's awesome.
He'd put a T-shirt and a cassette tape in every one of their laps. And there you are, baby. Thanks for coming. And we wouldn't stay. We'd just run out, and we'd be walking back, and he'd go, "How come, Kevin? How come you got this big body and we can use you to come and thump heads for us? And I got no voice at all, and people come and see, how come we aren't crippled?" He goes, "We can never forget how lucky we are." And I never forgot that that guy. I mean, here's one of the most famous people in the world, you know, and just, you know, where are the wheelchair
things you would
kids?
never expect.
No,
Never expect.
and he didn't do it to tell anybody he did it. You know, he didn't go, "Oh, get the photo people to give me with a photo op with the little wheelchair kid." You
Take
know,
my selfie and post it on
yeah,
Facebook.
man, he did it, and we did it. I worked for him for 25 years. He did it every show for 25 years.
That's incredible.
You know,
that's wild.
And so, you know, that gives people like me, that gives people hope that people are still cool. You know, because there's a guy that could be, the biggest.
There's no reason for him to do it at all.
Yeah.
Weren't there several times when you worked for the Stones that you thought one of the guys might end up dead? Weren't there, like, going, "Oh my God, you know, this will suck. Someone needs to, chill out." I'm not going to mention any names, but...
Well, I worked for Keith, and so he was my guy, and so...
there you go. Were you ever concerned?
Well, Keith got me in 78, at the end of 78, he goes, "You've been with us 69, 72, 75, 78. He goes, this thing gonna last forever, baby. We're not gonna be playing when we're 70. They never dreamed us to be playing. He goes, the public's fickle. They're like the flavor of the month. He goes, why don't you go to school? Why don't I help you? Why don't you go to school, do something with your life? You can't be a bouncer when you're 50. So I came back to Denver. My brother picked me up at the airport. I go, Keith told me I got to get a grip on my life. He goes,
Keith
man,
Richards is
you better
telling
do
you.
something, man. If Keith told you, you better do something. He's worried about you. And so I was, with Keith, you know, he always would say, not everybody gets to be 70. Not everybody gets to be 70 years old, you know. And so, I mean, he's 72. And so, but what he
And
did,
nobody thought that. Everybody thought that he was so, you know, careless and carefree and such a partier. I mean, is that just myth?
some of it, you know, nobody could party like that. But I mean, he was epic, you know, early on. But you know, he has a wonderful wife and great children, and you know, his life is more stable. And he's just, you know, and that cat, he's the hippest cat in the world. When he told me I should do something, I went right to, you know, he wrote my recommendation for vet school.
Really?
Yeah, it's on a wall somewhere, you know.
That's pretty amazing, man. That's
and then
really-
when I see him now, he's like, you know, we watch your TV show. When his girls were little, yeah, we watch your TV show. I said, I know that guy. And they go, oh, Dad, you don't know him. You know? But you know, to be a little boy from Denver and get to see the world on these tours and hear the music, you know, the music was what it was all about. You know, the music lifts us, you know, and it takes us to another place, and it makes your life better. And, you know, I think, you know, in those years it was, you know, great bands, you know, and still, you know, people would ask Keith, who's the best band in the world? And he'd go, whoever's playing live tonight.
Right.
You know,
live music is it.
You know, and that's right. You
Well,
know?
I never thought about, because it's like David Bowie dies and he's 69, and no, he's not. He's never. There's no way he's 69. You know, and then you become like reflection-wise, you become aware of your own mortality and how you're getting older and what's going on with you, and that's
probably the most frightening thing.
It's a wake-up call, right? Because you go, all mine are gone now. You know, where my icons are dropping.
Well, they're still there, you know. I mean, like you said, you know, you can always still listen to them or see them, and they're not very far away, you know. They're always in your heart, your mind, you know. And hopefully you grow and you have, you know, but man, I mean, iconic people, David Bowie. I mean, you know.
You were on that Let's Dance tour, right?
Yeah, you know, with Stevie Ray Vaughan. And, you know, dun, 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 dun.
And those two guys, there was friction. There was friction making the record. There was friction on the road. He didn't like being upstaged by Stevie Ray.
No, it's just like when Jimi Hendrix was in Little Richard's band. Right. And people are now paying to see Jimmy, you know, play with the guitar behind his back. And Little Richard's like, there can only be one star in the universe, and it's not you, Jimmy. You know.
Bye-bye.
So, yeah. But for me, I think, you know, to have so many different looks, and you know, the other day I just got these songs together, got the little records I had, you know, the David Bowie records, and you know, I didn't like all of it, but man, there's a body of work there, you know, China Girl and you know, Heroes. I mean, there's some really good stuff.
There's some great songs.
There's some great songs, and so, you know, he missed the mark with some of it. You know, I didn't know if I liked all the Thin White Duke stuff, mainly because I'm never gonna look like a Thin White Duke.
Right.
You know? I mean, you look at these guys, and you know. That's why I like Keith, because you could go, I could dress like that. You know?
Right, I got
You know,
that.
I could have my girlfriend's
I got
t-shirt
clothes
on.
like him, a matter of fact.
You know, Jagger would just, you know, look so cool and so sharp. You knew you'd never look like that. And Keith would just go on stage just how he looked, you know. And you go, oh, I see how it works, you know. So I think that with these guys, you know, they are icons to you, and it's your generation, and it means a lot. I think, you know, at work, the people are like, the woman was like, who's David Bowie? You know, I mean, she's 18 years old, you know,
right.
the receptionist, she doesn't know.
That Eagles dude, that's what I got from a younger acquaintance. That Eagles guy died, right?
Yeah.
I was teaching an improv class, and there was a hotel scene with a guy and a girl, and they were headed that way, and I go, man, you're so Sid and Nancy.
Yeah.
Who? Right. And I'm thinking, I'm just old. I'll be over here. I'm going to make references. We're not going to get them.
I said, someone come change me.
Hey, yeah, Grandpa's bag broke. I never thought I'd live this long, you know. I mean, I never thought I'd be 64, you know. But I read at a 65-year-old level, so I can read 1 year older than I am, so I got that going for me. And I just, you know, and it's true, as you get older, you do start to look like your pet, because this morning, my neighbor came over and yelled at me for shitting in his front yard. You know, so
It wasn't me.
it was either you or your dog. So I don't know. You know, music, I think, you know, as you get older, you don't want to go to the concerts as much. You know, you don't want to get vomited on or be there and put up with the stuff. And, you know, video stuff has changed it so much. You know, you can stay home and watch things, but it's still, the experience of live music is something that people should get out and see. You know, I think, you know, the contagious moment in the crowd where, you know, you really realize that something's happening.
And it stays with you forever. That's, again, I've seen the Eagles 3 or 4 times, and I can tell you who I was there with and who opened up for them and what happened, where I was in my life and all.
Well, that's it. Yeah, that's it. You know, I think you listen to a song and it comes, a part of your life comes back and you go,
right.
Oh, that's what was happening.
It's
with
that soundtrack.
Yeah.
You know, that movie reel starts going off in your head, and you start reliving that moment.
So yeah, music. You know, it makes our lives better, and you know, I sure enjoyed, you know, traveling with and seeing it. You know, in those years, it was great. There was just so much great stuff, and it
was so new. You know, groundbreaking.
Well, you know, you think it's new, but you know, Chuck Berry didn't make up a duck walk. You know, he saw it. You know, from the Midnight Rambles and stuff that were happening.
You know, but as far as these large festivals, as far as this,
that's right.
This
that's
you know,
right.
Massive unity, these people being, you know, all clued in on this scene. You know,
I did the security for the US Festival, you know, in '81 and '82, and those things was. I mean, you get to a point where it's so big, you know, and you.
It's not enjoyable. Yeah. Like you're way back there, you can't really hear. The sound sucks. You know.
So there's something like, you know, being in Herman's or Tulagi's, you know, with that low ceiling and the bass playing, and you know, you're gonna go up and get another
10 feet away from you.
Right.
You get maybe ask a girl to dance if you get up the guts, you know. You know,
couple more shots, I'm gonna ask her to boogie. Yeah.
I think she might like me, you know.
Very cool.
Well, there you go, man. It's a little window into the past. Dr. Kevin Fitzgerald living it, you know, back in the day. And it's kind of funny how music and Keith Richards helped Dr. Kevin become a veterinarian. You would have thought that would be the path. Golden gloves, to bouncing for rock stars,
your life's
to
not
saving.
a foot race, you know. I mean, we got, you know, we're not one-dimensional.
No,
you know,
so you take
I'm
some
not
breaks.
a cutout, you know.
Well, so and then stand-up drops in there somewhere.
Well, stand-up, we always like stand-up. Right? You can't write funnier things, you know. You know, like, what do you call a Mexican with a rubber toe? You know, Roberto. You know, I tried that the other night, just laid there. You know, or you can't even write. I tried this thing the other night. I said, it was Martin Luther King Day. I go, man, Martin Luther King Day. I go, you know, I don't know if these mattress sales are what Martin Luther King had in mind, you know and what the good doctor had in mind. Or, I mean, you can't write stuff like that. Or Sarah Palin yesterday, she endorses Trump. And so, you know, you go, man, you know.
Was she drunk? Did you see her? Did you see that?
She was crazy acting.
Was she fucked up?
Well, she's just nuts. And so, but I go, I want to borrow her voice to grate cheese. I mean, her voice is so bad. I mean, you can't write stuff like that. You can't make up a character like her.
When's the next show? When you on stage here in the Metro again?
What time is it?
Woo. Yeah, going on tonight?
No, Saturday night I'm at the Comedy Works. But, you know, I mean, that's what, we're so lucky and we're spoiled here in Denver. We're so lucky. I mean, the weather and people are nice here. But, I mean, just live music and then also comedy and you guys. I mean,
it's such a cool place. People want to be here, you know. So I think you get
it was a big
better quality of person. You know, there's a choice made to come here.
Yeah,
so.
I was invented here. 1951.
You wind up going, if you travel as an entertainer, if you travel as an entertainer by car or bus, you're coming to Denver because you cannot get from coast to coast without coming to Denver. We're 8 hours from the next major city that'll have anybody who can pay it. And
unless you got that 20 minutes there at the Clown's Den there off of I-80 on the west side of Cheyenne.
You can go work there. You know what I'm saying?
I'm working my way to Reno.
As much popcorn.
The Clown's Den.
Stuff. Go.
How about that? Just real quick, I want to take a moment. I always thought that was the most fucking fucked up name for a titty bar, the Clown's Den.
I wanted them to have better, and I wanted them to have better merch too. They didn't have good merch.
Who would drop any type of money? Oh, pull over, it's the Clown's Den. Those chicks must be hot. Anyway.
I went.
Did you? Attaboy.
I went. Yeah.
All right, Dr. Kevin is at Comedy Works on Saturday. Which one? Downtown or
I'm at
Landmark?
The Landmark, yeah.
All right.
So come out there. But man, thanks for all you do. Thanks for all you do for Denver.
Thank you,
Hey,
man.
and we were having you back because we wanted to separate. We didn't want to, taint either subject. So we wanted to talk rock and roll with you today.
I just got back from the North Pole, so I got to tell you some stuff. Yeah, that'd be great.
So cool.
Okay.
All right, my man. Dr. Kevin's coming back. Don't forget, get the wild when you go see him.
Oh yeah. It's 42 minutes of comedy, 42 minutes of animal expeditions, and 42 minutes of games for children because children get it. They're hip. They get all this stuff.
Why did I think you were in the Antarctic?
Both.
You went to both?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. For a minute there, I was like, why did somebody say something? I just was rattling stuff off. Nobody. They just let the crazy man go.
So
both.
He's older now.
Putting radio transmitters into polar bears at the North Pole. And the South Pole, we've been looking at garbage ingestion in penguins. And plastic and different toxins.
I'd like to talk to you about that. We're going to have you back on, okay?
Back. Thanks for all you do.
All right, Dr. Kevin Fitzgerald.
Appreciate it, Kevin.
Always great to have you, man. He's such a Denver icon and part of rock and roll
history. I'm part
history.
of this family too, What am I? Chopped liver? I'm here.
Hey, don't go anywhere. Robin Carlin's coming up. She's going to talk to us about the experience she had with DT's mom. The first time that Demarius' mom has seen him play in the flesh, I think ever. Right? I don't even think she saw him when he was little. So, because she's been in the joint, locked up. We're going to get the story coming up next here on the Uncle Nasty Show, WorldViral.tv. Tell somebody.
World Viral TV is brought to you, as always, by Colorado Harvest Company.
Colorado Harvest Company.
People are coming from all over the world to check out Denver's growing cannabis industry, and most of them are leaving happy after they've been to Colorado Harvest Company. Why Colorado Harvest Company? For so many reasons. We pride ourselves on carrying only the most consistent flowers and products, with knowledgeable and friendly bud tenders that'll assist you with everything that you need. Buds, vaporizers, concentrates, topicals, edibles, and drinks, all from only the best companies in the state. If you're looking for the best cannabis experience in Denver, look no further than Colorado Harvest Company.